box now. 5 left. remaining. Great stuff. Fastest lap of the race. Remaining. That's the fastest so far. 2 minutes remaining. To go. Final lap, let's bring it home. Great driving.
learn. You got to go to a witch, and they might lie to you.
I'm all for her protecting us from witches.
Both God's battle axe and weapon of war. And imagine right now your Twitter.
Man, this is her
Everybody
time,
out
huh?
there, please listen to me. I've never asked for anything. I want everybody to update your Twitter bio to God's battle axe and weapon of war. I want everyone to do it.
I may
I'll
do
it
that.
too.
I may do that.
God's battle axe and weapon of war.
I'll do it too. It's important. It's important to show solidarity
Yeah.
with that woman and her
God's battle axe and weapon of
Firepower Ministries.
Yes, God's battle axe and weapon of war.
That's so funny.
Profile. Edit profile. Here we go.
Everybody's coming out of the woodwork now. Like you have a lot of different. You know, if you had anything to do with medicine at all, you could come out now and just you could build a brand.
Yeah, you
she's
could.
building a brand.
The Bible verse in there. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really? God's
You are
battle-
my war club.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe I should leave it alone.
Yeah. I mean, this
I'm already
is.
moving to a red
She's
state.
building a brand. Yeah.
Wait,
You don't,
I understand what you're doing.
yeah. Hey.
You got to build a brand.
It's just what it is. Not
gotta make
everybody can
noise.
be Alyssa Milano. Some Alyssa Milano. Some people have to be God's weapon of war.
Yeah. Battle axe.
Battle axe and weapon of war.
What a
Yeah.
crazy Bible quote. There's some Bible quotes.
Well, they don't. The people like her, they don't want the light touch Bible quote.
No.
They don't want the like give the old man soup or whatever. You know, some version of that. They want like the fires will rain through your eye, like that type of intense. Yeah. They're into that. So many people just really love that vivid imagery from like Book of Revelation.
Yes.
They want that.
Yes.
That's the only part of the Bible a lot of them care about.
Yeah,
They
well-
just want the end.
They think it's coming. What's going on here? Give me some. Give me some of this. What's she saying?
Right.
Don't be afraid to give your all to Christ.
I'd feel comfortable if she walked into a hospital waiting room and started treating me. I'd feel very comfortable. And then she brought that guy out. And she goes, now meet my nurse. This is my head nurse.
You know what is interesting though is this the politicalization. Is that a word?
Oh, she's rocking out.
Yeah. That's exactly like de Blasio's
No,
wife.
that's de Blasio's wife trying to get a response from people in Central
Power
Park.
to the people.
Nothing.
Yeah. You gotta wonder.
It's a real nightmare out there.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's really
If
weird.
we can stay alive, it's awesome though. As long as nobody you love dies in this, it's a good time.
Yeah, I think if we come out on the other end, which I think will be next spring, I think we could go through the fall and the winter. It's going to be weird. The election's weird. Like, have you ever looked forward to 3 months less
No.
than these 3 months of
Well,
just intense?
I have intense anxiety about the election.
Right.
Like I'm where I'm like,
Yeah.
this could be bad.
Could go interestingly.
It could be a real mess in this country.
I think it'll be a mess no matter who gets in.
I'd be less of a mess if Biden wins.
I think if Biden wins, it'll be less of a mess, and I think I'm hoping people will shut up. Like, can people just shut up?
They're not going to shut up.
Yeah.
They're not going to shut up. Because first of all, the Trump people, if Biden wins, they're going to be furious.
Right.
And Trump has said that like this mail-in vote thing is going to be ripe for fraud.
Maybe he's not wrong about that either. I don't know enough about it, but I don't know why we can't have a regular election with masks.
Well, I don't know why we can't entertain this, seeing as how you and I don't know what the fuck we're talking about. Let's just go all in and say, I believe it could be a fraud.
Wait, the mail-in?
Yeah.
I think it could be too.
I think they should vote online. How come you can do
That
banking
could be fraud
online?
too, because then
How come you can
Russian
bank
trolls and Chinese trolls and all the trolls and bots.
I mean, you bank on it, no problem. What's more important to you than your money? Nothing.
Nothing. It's a good point.
Meanwhile, they figured out how to do that.
Let's just have a regular election. 6 feet distancing mask, spray everything down in between. I mean, what are we doing?
Phone opens up, right?
Yeah.
Or you think, why can't you use that?
Well, I agree with you, but I don't know why we can't have a traditional regular election with masks and distancing.
We certainly can.
I think we can. I think it's stupid not to, especially in an election that's going to be this contentious anyway. We should probably just have a regular election with masks and distancing. And then, like, if really elderly people, yes, you should go to nursing homes. They're really elderly people, and let them touch a computer screen. Like, let my mother go in there and let my mother touch it, because she loves Trump. She asked me the other day, she goes, She goes, can you get me a MAGA hat? I'm like,
She
yeah.
said that?
Yeah. She's schizophrenic, but she loves him. She's kind of his base. She goes, yeah, she goes, I love Trump. She goes, he's just trying to do the right thing for the country, you know? She goes, your Aunt Donna doesn't understand that Donald Trump's trying to save us from the people that want to hurt us. I was like, yeah. I was like, that's Aunt Donna, always trying to let the people in to hurt us.
Fucking Aunt Donna. Everybody has one.
Yeah, so I mean, that's my,
Here's a question.
Yeah.
Who's gonna name the kid Karen?
oh God, that name's out.
It's a
But
rough
you know,
year.
Timmy, my name, that happened to too. Every pussy that was being described in the 80s was like, little Timmy. Everyone, dude. And that name has decreased in popularity, which is fine. I don't want a name that everyone has. But everybody, that was the pussy name forever. It was like Timmy.
What about Adolf?
By the way, not a good guy, great name.
It's not a bad name.
It's a great name.
Yeah.
It's a strong name.
Wilhelm.
Clip this and send this around. It's a strong name. Wilhelm.
You can't use it. You can't use Adolf anymore.
Yeah, but
How many kids a year? Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Right.
How many kids a year are named Adolf?
Probably nobody. Nobody, right?
I want to know. How
I
many
mean, you
children.
want to talk about a social justice warrior? The guy who's named Adolf's got to go hard left.
What?
Actually,
What does it say? What does it say? Well, what? Europe's all in.
these are official records. Official records show that only 13 children were named Adolf between 2006 and 2020.
Follow them, Netflix
It's
doc.
made a small comeback since then. 46 children have been named Adolf since then.
Oh yeah, the way Germany's going, there's going to be a lot of Adolfs
Lot
being
of
born.
Adolfs.
Yeah, because they got some issues. And
How low that number is.
follow those 13 kids. That's a great Netflix documentary. Like, you just call it 13 Adolfs. And you follow them and see like how they deal with having the name of a genocidal monster.
Really? But
Maybe.
you could be Genghis. You could name your kid Genghis.
Is it Genghis or Genghis?
Genghis.
Oh, I like Genghis.
Genghis is fine too. I've said Genghis. But I think you're really supposed to say Genghis.
Oh, Katrina, Caitlyn.
Hey.
Wait a minute, hold on.
No more Caitlyn's. Monica's around?
ISIS. There's a few ISIS. Dude, have you ever gone somewhere and you see someone in Middle Eastern descent and their name is ISIS? It's like a beautiful name, ISIS.
Ellen's rough.
Ellen is like an old.
But it's a rough one.
It's a rough one now because she was running Abu Ghraib in the back of her show. That's a rough one. She's out there dancing with Kristen Bell, and in the back there's people that are getting up on the rack like this.
It's so weird when you see like a lot of people saying that someone who seems so nice is not nice at all.
She doesn't seem nice, but that people have a very poor judge of character. She doesn't seem nice. It seems forced. People that are like that all the time, she doesn't seem nice. It's very forced. And whatever, you're allowed to be a bitch, right? You're allowed to be a bitch. You're allowed to be nasty to people. You're accomplished. You're a comedian. You did the whole thing. What you're not allowed to do is have a Guantanamo Bay situation in the backstage of your show where everybody's walking around afraid for their life, and it's like Abu Ghraib where they're hooked up to wires and they have
Dogs
like,
around them.
yeah, she's got dogs and hoods. If an intern's late, they have a hood on. I don't support that. That's just me.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I mean, I
You
wish
think
she's
she's
done. She's around for too long.
James
Fallon,
Corden.
all these people, walk away. You've been famous forever. Walk away. Like, eventually, everybody, they're just gonna figure it out. Now, Fallon's on an apology tour because of the blackface. Like,
Is he?
well, he was. Like, he had to go around and apologize a million times. So, like, they're gonna find the thing if you don't go away. You gotta have a good run. And when you have a good run, you step back and you go, okay, I'm still gonna do my thing, but like, I'm not. I mean, there's only a few jobs in entertainment, right?
Right.
So I think a lot of the cancel culture shit is probably these motherfuckers want those jobs.
Ooh.
They're like, how long is this bitch gonna be dancing? I can dance with Hillary Clinton. I can do the Charleston with Henry Kissinger, or whatever the fuck she does out there.
The Charleston
She goes out there to the Charleston's got war criminals, her and Bush are jumping around. I mean,
She was buddies with Bush. That
yeah,
was like
she's
one
a
of the first-
CIA agent. Stephen Paddock. Do not ask me for sources, but Stephen Paddock.
Who's that?
He was the guy that shot up the Vegas concert. That was a very tragic thing. Listen to this. The only guy that saw Stephen Paddock alive, his name's Jesus Campos. He was a guard at Mandalay Bay. He got interviewed nowhere else. You know where he got interviewed in the beginning?
Ellen.
Ellen.
Really?
Weird. And then they went on, if you could find that clip, they went on with a weird like diagram of how it happened, and Ellen's like showing the people how it happened. Not like an emotional like how are you feeling, how are you holding up. It was a weird diagram of like, and then he went to the left and to the right. It was very strange to look. What the hell's going on? This is a daytime show.
Which is the paddock guy? There's two guys.
The chubbier guy is the Jesus guy, and now Ellen is doing a thing of how the shooting happened.
Look at how she's got like an antenna from someone's Buick, and she's popped up and she's using it as a pointer.
But why the hell is this happening on like a daytime show where she did? This is weird.
Where did she get that pointer?
I don't know. She stole it off. She stole it off an intern's car.
Why wouldn't you just use your finger? Like if that was you, if it was your show, the Tim Dillon show, wouldn't you just point?
Yeah.
This is also a giant.
So, but she's using this thing. I find it very strange. I don't know why.
Wait a minute, those aren't real palm trees.
Yeah. I know that street though. I know that block in Beverly Hills that she used.
How weird is that?
I don't know why they're doing this on a daytime talk show.
Let's keep it running. Look at, she's dressed like Colonel Sanders. Not Colonel Sanders, she's dressed like Sergeant Pepper.
This guy looks like a member of her staff.
What kind of outfit is she wearing?
I don't know. She wears those weird like militant lesbian
that should tell you
uniform.
Something.
Yeah.
That's an odd look with all those buttons. Like, why do you have so many wrist buttons?
It was given to her at Langley.
The only reason why you have that many wrist buttons is if you're looking at clothes on somebody.
Yeah, look at her. Look at her. Everyone says she looks so friendly. She looks friendly.
She does look very military.
Yeah, she's a militant woman.
Very expensive watch.
She dealt with a lot of discrimination when she came out. It was very sad, but then she joined the CIA.
Her house got broken into while she was at home.
Really?
Yeah. She got a dope place in Montecito.
And they broke in while she was there.
Yeah.
And those people are still being tortured to this day.
Probably.
They're still in an underground jail.
Yeah, she's feeding them to her staff.
She's like, it's okay, don't worry about it. She goes, you did good.
Is that the guy, the survivor?
He's the guy who met Paddock.
She's holding on to him. It's odd.
Yeah.
She's allowed to do that because she's a woman, but if that was a man holding onto a woman's arm that long,
it'd be rape.
It'd be a real problem.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So weird.
What a strange interview, man.
I mean, the whole situation was strange.
What a strange thing.
They never really figured out why that guy did that.
There was no motive. He has very little footprint online.
He's
His
a
chick was in the
professional gambler,
Philippines. Yeah, he was. He made a lot of money doing that.
Jamie's just, what'd you do?
Jamie knows.
You don't know? You don't believe? What do you think? Well, I don't know. You tell me what's going on. Okay, but you just made a noise like this is bullshit. There's a lot of professional gambling, buddy. Is that what he did? That's all he did?
He was an arms dealer. No, I don't know that. But I just, you see the way I said it very definitively? He was an arms dealer.
Yeah. He did have a lot of fucking guns.
So, it's just very strange, and a lot of times what happens is, you know...
Oh, she gave him a check for $25,000.
Oh, well, good for her.
The big-ass check, too. Like he won the lotto.
That's good.
Yeah, imagine
Classy.
if you won the lotto and gave you a check that big, it was $25,000.
By the way, after taxes, that's not even any money. It's like nothing. It's like, bitch, how about you give me some real money and not $8,000?
When we would give people $50,000 to win Fear Factor, the government, I think, takes 16.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you get 34.
Dude, when you do your first job in comedy, you have to join SAG, which is $3,000. So a lot of times you're like negative.
Yeah.
You have to pay $3,000 to join the Screen Actors Guild.
Yeah.
And then you're, I mean, it's what?
Well, this what they're doing right now in California taxes. They're trying to retroactively tax everybody.
Up to 16.8%.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You're going back to January. You're like, you know, I know you were living here over the last 7 months, assuming that your tax rate was what it is, and you budgeted for that, but no, we're going to steal your money.
Are they going to be able to do that?
No.
They're saying 16.8% for top earners.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be high no matter what, because it was 13.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will be paying 14. It's a lot of money to go to a state that doesn't manage money well and doesn't seem to fix any of the problems.
Especially if you're that guy that's got that multi-million-dollar house in front of fucking tents. And you're like, what am I doing?
Yeah, what am I doing?
I work my fucking ass off 10 hours a day. I come home exhausted, try to spend some quality time with my family. I'm dodging needles in my fucking front yard, and I'm paying 16%.
I don't know if he's spending quality time with the kid, but he's still like, I got some hookers and coke, and this is still a problem. He's like, they don't want to come over here and walk through tents. These women are professionals. Yeah, I don't know that guy's coming home to his kids.
They get Uber.
No, he pays someone to watch the kids. And but it's falling apart very quickly.
I wonder what's going to happen. Like, how far can it fall apart? Because I would have
Not
never
that far.
imagined. It can fall further. Don't get crazy.
It will fall further.
Go to Machu Picchu. There's no one there. Okay?
That's a good point.
Yeah, man.
That's
All
a
these
good
places.
point. It's going to be taken over by the TikTok kids. You already see it happening.
That's why Trump's trying to ban TikTok.
They're
It's part of
16
the
years
QAnon
old.
thing.
They literally run LA. These 16-year-old kids. They go to that steakhouse Boa, and they all walk around in bedazzled jackets, and there's
TikTok.
paparazzi outside. And these paparazzi, their job, they go like, as the world's burning, these kids are doing this. The paparazzi's job is to ask these kids, like, what's going on? And they're kids, and they literally have responses like a regular child. They'll be like, what's going on, Madison? And she's like, I'm trying to get a car. And he's like, all right. And it's so sick. Like, this is that guy's life. He's got to follow around these children. At least used to follow around Sandra Bullock. Now you're following around a kid who, like, does this.
There's one dude that was a comic. Well, he's still a comic, but he was a TMZ guy for a while. He was,
yes, I know that guy. I met that guy.
good dude.
Good-looking guy. He was like one of those TMZ guys.
Yeah, very nice guy. I meet him at the airport all the time. Sometimes it answers questions, sometimes like that.
How
I just
embarrassing is that,
I'm so
though?
tired.
I get that's
Fellow
his job.
comic, too.
It's tough for a fellow comic.
And we're talking, and like,
Dude.
I get it, but he was cool. Like, if I told him, like,
I'm not into it.
I'm so fucking tired, and I'm not going to comment on my friend's death. Like, one of them was Anthony Bourdain.
God, yeah.
Like, right after Anthony Bourdain died.
What a way to make a living. Like, I feel bad for those guys who have to camp out outside of a Starbucks and interview 16-year-olds. You're like, what's the drama this week?
They also know where you are somehow.
Oh, they're stalking these kids.
How do they get how do they get the flight information? Like, that's what I want to know.
I don't know. No one's done that to me, Joe. I don't know.
I always want to know, like, how they get the flight information.
I don't know. I've
Like,
never
they know
been.
what airline you're on. It's weird.
Yeah. I don't know. Like,
They must have someone inside the airline where they send them money or something like that. They must have some sort of
that's interesting. So so then they show up at LAX at the right time.
yeah, not just LAX. Like, they show up when you're getting off the escalator, like at fucking the 4th terminal. When you're in Terminal 4 and you're coming
They
down,
know.
they're there for you. They're ready.
Wow.
Weird.
See, they're outside of the restaurants in Beverly Hills a lot of times.
But
Like,
those
they just
fucking people that go to
they're just
those
trying to
restaurants,
snap.
they know what restaurants they're gonna get. Like, you go
and
to
they
Craig's,
want, or
Catch.
or any of those. And the food at a lot, I like Craig's, but a lot of those Beverly Hills restaurants is not good.
Well, it's a scene.
It's a scene.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it is. But the food is like, you go, this is horrific.
Like, if you go to Nobu and Malibu, they don't let them on the property.
Yeah.
So they're on the street yelling at you.
They yell at you.
For like, so there's like the parking lot.
Yeah.
And then there's the restaurant.
Are you gonna miss that stuff? Are you gonna miss like the Nobu and Malibu, like the food, like the sushi?
No.
No.
I eat meat.
I know.
I eat meat 9
You don't
out of 10
like fish?
times.
You don't like fish?
It's okay. I eat it when there's no meat around.
My dad's friend owned a steakhouse. He said that because fish is perfect. Because fish is perfectly good if there's no meat.
Yeah, I like it. Well, the good thing about fish is you can eat it all day long. If you eat meat, people think you're a terrible person. Meanwhile, there's plenty of cows, and they're sucking fish out of the ocean in record numbers. The ocean's going to be drained of sashimi.
Yeah, but
No
you know
time.
what? No generation before us ever worried about us. So it's like, I'm going to eat the sashimi, and the kids can figure it out. Let the TikTok fucks figure out how to get more salmon.
But there's no shortage of cattle. Like, you can grow cattle
but
like
isn't the
crazy.
problem that they fart and then it causes methane? I mean, I
They
know,
thought
but that's
that was
what
the
they
case,
say.
but then they did an actual a survey. See if you can find that. They did some sort of a satellite image of the United States, and they found out that the large majority of methane release is coming from dumps and coming from landfills. Yeah, which makes sense.
Interesting. Of course it does.
Of course, all that food and everything's rotting. It's just
Well, all of those, people criticize meat because it's political, but what's very interesting is like sugar gets away with everything.
yeah,
Sugar is like there was a comedian who did a great joke. I think it was Barrett Vaughn, and it was like, he goes, cocaine and heroin look at sugar and go, fuck, that's the fucking dude. Like, that's the real drug.
He's everywhere.
Yeah, I mean,
He's in all
that's
the
the real.
supermarkets.
Yeah. So, I mean, sugar is just so endemic in our culture that, and it's not that political, and it is very addictive.
Oh yeah,
Me and Ari Shafir did this, and Big J. Oakers and a few people. We did this Slim Fast challenge for like 2 weeks, and you read the Slim Fast ingredients, all sugar.
Yeah.
You're just
yeah.
drinking a chocolate milkshake.
Yeah, it just doesn't have much calories other than the sugar.
Right.
And it fills you up with some real drugs. What
It
do you got
does.
there, Jamie? What is that? Research shows removing all livestock and poultry from the U.S. alone would only reduce global greenhouse gas emissions by 0.36%. You fucks. Just relax. If you don't eat those cows, they die on their own and no one gets to eat them.
Right.
That's the problem.
Yeah. So you got to eat the cows.
Yeah, this idea that you're going to save the world, that was something that was promoted by a lot of these bullshit propaganda vegan movies.
Right.
That if you, like, greenhouse gases are all coming from that. No. Oh, look, a lot of greenhouse gases coming from shipping produce, folks.
Right.
It's unfortunate. It's true.
Agreed.
There's a lot of problems with growing things like almonds. You're using so much fucking water to grow these things.
Right.
You're drinking almond milk.
What's your feeling on whole? I drink almond milk. What's your feeling on whole milk?
I think raw milk is probably good for you.
What's raw?
It doesn't bother me. Raw milk,
Non-processed?
non-homogenized, non-pasteurized.
Where do you find that?
You can only get it in some stores. And it's kind of
raw
illegal.
milk. I mean, that's like
It's like finding DMT. You gotta
Okay,
know
yeah, that's what I
about
was about to say. I'm like,
Yeah.
sometimes you'll bring up a product. I'm like, how do you even get that?
I was drinking raw milk for a while because you could get it at the supermarket. I think you could get it at Whole Foods, but it was good for literally like 2 days.
Does it taste good?
It tastes great.
Interesting.
It's really thick, and like you drink it, and it doesn't make you feel like shit. Like there's something about regular milk which I love, like milk and cookies. Give me a fucking chocolate chip cookie and a cold glass of milk. Woo!
Yeah.
So good. You dunk it in. Are you a dunker? You dunk? The
I
cookie?
have dunked. Boa has a dessert where it's those warm cookies and then just a little scoop of ice cream. It's like it's a problem. Yeah. Real good.
It's a very good thing. But when you drink regular milk, your stomach's like, all right, you can deal with it. Right. Or whatever. But whole milk, it just kind of goes in there because it has all the enzymes. It's not boiled down. When your body is drinking pasteurized, homogenized milk, the idea is it can stay on the shelf longer, it can feed more people, it also lasts longer, keeps people from getting sick. I get it. All that stuff's good. But the problem is that your body doesn't know what that is. Like, that's boiled and dead. There's no
Right.
enzymes in it. When
Right.
you drink regular milk, it's like your body's like, oh, you know what to do with this.
This is
raw
right.
milk.
This is milk. It's not this like pasteurization.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's all.
Yeah.
And you don't fuck with almond milk.
But I've had it.
It's a little lighter than
It's
whole milk. Yeah.
not milk.
It's not milk.
It's nonsense.
It's the chalkiness.
Well, it's some fucking shit where you take almonds and then you soak them. And then
Yeah.
you get this murky water and then you drink that and lie to yourself. And by the way,
Right.
most almond milk has sugar in it. Like Dunkin', I
Yeah.
love Dunkin' to death. Like, dude, almond milk is so healthy. I go,
Yeah.
why don't you read how much sugar it is per serving? He's like, 19 grams. I go, yeah, 19 grams. That's why it tastes so good.
Everybody lies.
You drink it in a vanilla milkshake.
Well, you go over to Whitney's house. Whitney has all these weird plant-based things, but they're all kind of like weird, like plant-based chocolate pops and chocolate almond milk but she's very thin because she doesn't eat a lot of
Throws
them.
up a lot.
Well, that's what she does
And she's
too.
on speed.
Yeah, it's a good point. She did all of those things. All of those things help. You know, the needles. Every now and then I'll call her. She got like 9 needles coming in. I'm like, is this COVID vaccination? What's going on?
She does the NAD, both the NAD
Yeah.
injections.
But yeah, I mean, but the plant-based stuff never feels that healthy.
Is she on plant-based diets? Is that what she's doing?
No, she'll have meat every now and then. Like, I'll bring her food that has meat in it.
She probably eats like a wolf.
Yeah, she'll eat it. I mean, a lot of times I try to bring her like an eggplant parmesan or something that's like in her wheelhouse. Yeah.
She's a
She's
person-
dyed her hair pink now like Billie Eilish.
When did she do this?
She's recently. I mean, she's like gone off the...
She's probably losing her mind.
Yeah, we need a vaccine. It's
Somebody,
time.
Nikki Glazer was talking about shaving her head on Twitter. I had to reach out to her.
Yeah. Did you?
Yes, I did.
Are
She
you
said-
like, bitch, you're stealing my thing?
No.
You call her, Nikki, stop right now.
I'm doing it in solidarity for my
Roger
friend who
that.
has
Hit
cancer.
now.
By the
Be
way,
ready
he
when
has
you
no
are.
friend.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
She's like going crazy.
Yeah,
So
people are having issues.
she's coming on next week. I texted
Yeah.
her. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm going crazy.
She's
living
in Missouri with her family.
Yeah, she's living with her family while this
Nikki's
is all,
great, man.
I love her.
She's great. She's a fucking great comic,
so,
and she's
look at
killer.
fucking Whitney's hair. She's so crazy.
Yeah, Whitney keeps getting younger. Like she looks like she's 17 years old.
It's because of the adrenochrome.
Yeah, it's a good.
What's happening there? Where'd that blue shit come from? What is that? What is that? Who's
This
doing
is
that?
her assistant. He shoots things at her.
Oh,
She knows how to stay
Her
relevant.
assistant's hilarious.
Yeah, he's
the
very
two of them
funny.
together are very funny. together.
Yeah, he just like I don't know, cracks eggs over her head or whatever. I don't know, but it's good. I mean,
Well-
it works. It's a fun dynamic.
She's having a good time.
Yeah.
She's one of those people that I go, man, how does Whitney function without the store? Which is probably what a lot of people say about me.
Right.
How
We'll
I
also
function.
define function. Like
I mean,
the,
like,
yeah. No,
I
of
think,
course.
like some of us,
This is about shooting a potato gun at her in her backyard. Let's not
some
go.
of us need
yeah.
that fix.
I agree, man. I had to get out of LA. I had to go to the desert because I couldn't handle the feeling every day that things were disintegrating minute by minute.
and they are.
Yeah, that was wearing on me. So I said, let me just go to a place where there's just 80-year-olds driving golf carts.
Yeah.
Bob Hope You just look at Bob Hope's house. It's nice.
Joey Diaz had a really good point. I think he's right. He's like, before you leave Joe Rogan, you gotta go down there and film that shit. You know, show these motherfuckers. They don't know. They don't know. They don't know. Go down Melrose. They don't know. They don't know what the fuck.
Dude, I listened to the episode he did with Lee when they talk about dissolving the church, and it was like, that was a great fucking episode, man. And it was like emotional. It was like, because that guy, along with you, helped define a whole era of podcasting and comedy and everything. So it's like, when you hear him talk about walking away from LA and why he's doing it and the family, I mean, it's a real, like, impactful thing.
Don't tell Joey.
Yeah.
What's going to happen?
Just go to Texas.
One winter in New Jersey, and I'm going to call him up. Joey, I bought you a house. I'm gonna buy him this
Just
beautiful
reroute his
house.
plane. Just have his plane land in
I'm going to
Austin.
buy him a beautiful house like on a golf course. Green. I'm going to make sure it's real near walking distance to good food. I'm going to buy him a house. I'm going to buy him once I open up a comedy club. In
So
Austin,
you're hardcore. You're like going full.
I'm gone.
You're doing it.
I'm gone.
Well, I know you're gone, but you're really doing the
I
club
am
and everything.
fucking doing everything.
Wild.
Listen,
It's exciting.
I need comedy.
I agree.
And also, I feel like Austin is a fantastic artistic community. There's a lot of like fantastic music there. It's the live music capital of the world.
It
The
is.
food is fucking sensational.
Very good.
The people are cool as shit. I just felt like that's a good spot.
100%.
Set up shop.
I mean, we all need comedy. I'm doing a tent in Long Island in 2 weeks at Governor's. They've set up a
Governor's has a
tent.
tent.
They've set up a tent in the parking lot, and I'm doing it because why? Because like, hey,
Good for them.
why not?
Good for them.
Time to start little by little figuring out like what this is going to look like.
Good for them for just fucking adapting. You know, I like that these restaurants are like, if you go down Venice, they're like taking up the sidewalk. They're like, fuck
We
it.
were all supposed to shoot, I don't want to say what, but me and a bunch of other people were supposed to shoot something for Netflix in August in LA. That never happened. So now it's like we don't know what the hell is going to happen with that.
Yeah, I was gonna try to do my next special right around the New Year. That was my plan.
And
My
you had
plan-
the art and book, get all these
Oh
things
yeah,
going.
I had a lot of shit for it. But my plan was to make this mad run. I was going to do Boston Garden, Madison Square Garden. I had all these theaters booked. Me and Chappelle were doing a bunch of dates. And the thing was to come into like January, February, just fucking coming in hot and do my next special. And now it's like part of me, look, I'm not happy that this is happening for anybody that's sick, anybody who lost a business, anybody, but you have to be able to adapt and look at the bright side. So for me, what I'm thinking is right now is at the very least, what I can do is use this as an opportunity to examine what I want to say in my act. Right. Examine it. Instead of just doing bits that I know are killing, because I have a lot of bits that I know are just murdering.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, should I do that bit? What is that? Is this how I feel? Is this real? Like, where do I go with this? And then go forward. Once the year rolls over, I think around 2021, January, February, that's most likely, if there's a possibility of doing stand-up again, that's when it's going to open up.
Right.
Because they're talking about having some sort of a vaccine around December.
So, well, let's see. But yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I think it's going to get to a point, we're going to get to herd immunity a little quicker than we think.
Well, I was talking to Ron Funches yesterday, and I was like, Ron, what if this is it? This is how we live from now on. You can still go to the store, wear a mask.
Right.
You can still go to a restaurant, wear a mask. Like, or what would we do?
Right.
Would we eventually just start doing stand-up again? Say, fuck it. If you catch it, you catch it.
It's a good question. I don't know. I think that you can reach herd immunity with this at a lower percentage than a lot of other things because they say that we have exposure to previous coronaviruses and that you could maybe start reaching some level of herd immunity around 20 or 30% as opposed to 60%, which would mean that New York already, the New York COVID cases are very low. That's one of the reasons I'm doing that tent is because they're very low right now.
But LA's skyrocketing.
LA's skyrocketing, but no one cares.
Why
Like
is
everybody's out to
why is
dinner.
LA skyrocketing?
It's the wrath of a vengeful god. I mean, let's be very honest. I mean, do we deserve to not be? No, I think it's skyrocketing because it just went across country. It was just east to west. Everything cool kind of starts in New York, then it ends up in LA to get sold.
And get ruined.
And get big and get ruined. So COVID started in New York. It's
COVID
what
here
happens.
just gives you zits.
Yeah.
All the time, he goes around. Everybody just uses COVID filters to block your zits.
No one cares. I mean, people are out in the outdoor restaurants. I mean, it doesn't really matter. People are enjoying the restaurants.
The outdoor restaurants, but I feel so bad for all the really good restaurants that don't have an outdoor.
Osteria Mozza, places like that. I'm upset. Nancy Silverton's fucking APL. That place Felix you like.
Felix has an outside.
Oh, they do?
Oh, it's wonderful. The whole outside is fantastic.
That's awesome. Maybe I'll go there tonight.
They have a next door restaurant that had this whole outside area. They took that over. They have
it's the one thing in the desert, when you go to a restaurant in the desert, you eat the food, you're like chewing it, you're like, what the fuck is this? What do you mean? What kind of food do they have? I don't know what goes on. I go to like seafood restaurants out there, I start chewing something, I'm like, I don't even know what this is. I have no idea. There's one good one called Pacifica, which is really good. But there's a lot of restaurants out there in the desert where you go, something's wrong.
So you just decided to go out there. Did you previously have experience with Palm Springs?
No, but I was in a car and then the riot started. So I was in a car and the riot started, and I literally, instead of going back to my house, because I live right off Sunset, an apartment right off Sunset, instead of going back, I just got on the 10 East. I'd never even been out there. I just said, I the clothes on my back. I said, swear to God. I said, I'm getting on the 10 East. What am I going to go? I look like a cop. I look like a guy that should be burned alive for every sin that this country has committed, right? No one would care. My own parents would be like, he probably did something to deserve that. So I'm like, I'm getting the fuck out of here because I get lit up immediately. So I just started driving on the 10 East. I got an Airbnb. I talked to some dude. I'm like, hey, can I, it was a nice Airbnb. And I just got out there and I'm like, I fucking love it out here. No it's just nice. It's just quiet.
I know people have like vacation spots out there.
Yeah, of course. And then I just said to myself, I'm like, if LA's not going to be, if I'm not at the store and I'm not doing anything, I can drive in to do podcasts. Mm-hmm. I can easily drive in.
How long did it take you to get here?
Under 2.
Oh, that's not bad.
About 2.
So and it's like a San Diego trip.
All the traffic is Ventura Freeway.
Have you ever thought about living down there like La Jolla?
No. Dude, I'm not a surfer. You know what I mean?
You don't have to be a surfer.
I'm not here I came here to do stand-up comedy. I came here to create things. I didn't come here to be a surfer. I didn't come here to do yoga. I didn't come here to join a cult. I didn't come here to do any of that. I'm an East Coast guy. East Coast is where I was born and raised.
Which makes sense that you're in the Palm Desert.
Yeah, because it's, well, what are you going to do? I can't go move back to New York, get shot in the face. So I'm staying there until December, till the holidays, and then I'll figure out, who knows, we'll see what's happening in the world.
The violence rate in New York right now.
It's a little too much. It's a little too much.
So crazy.
It's a lot. And listen.
How are they going to turn that back?
It'll turn around, dude. In 5 years, everything, it's a cycle. It'll bottom out a little bit. Or it'll be done forever. But it'll be a cycle, dude. In 5 years, a bunch of rich kids will move in there just like they moved in there in 2009. They'll start doing alternative comedy, dressing like fucking hit, like flappers. Yep. They'll start dressing, and they'll just, and that'll be the resurgence of the city. They'll open a bunch of new coffee houses in what used to be homeless shelters, and it'll just, and it's just a cycle. But what needs to happen now, there's going to be a lot of pain. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of displacement of people. And then I think this could be the route to the city getting cool again, to maybe younger artistic people coming in, architects doing cool shit, reimagining public spaces. New York needs to get shaken out of its tree a little bit, and so does LA. That's what's happening. Right. I just don't want to be here for it.
Like maybe it'll get dirty and dangerous again.
It's going to get to the point where maybe everything won't suck.
Times Square will be like Times Square.
Yeah, and people that move to New York they'll be, listen, if you know you could get slashed on the way to the comedy show, you better kill. You better make it work.
You have a lot of tension.
You better make it work. If it's safe and you and your friends are like skipping down the street, you don't ever feel that, pressure.
Where's that other song?
Right. Pressure is good.
Yeah.
And I think that now you're going to get it, We'll see.
Where do you think you're going to wind up?
I don't know. Texas is very interesting. That's very interesting. I mean, the idea of that is very interesting.
I put up with that too.
Yeah, I mean, that's very interesting to me. I mean, I also think, I do like LA, but I don't know what's going to happen. I do like it here. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do. I may manage, I've talked about managing Logan Paul's presidential campaign. I could always move back and do that. We're going to have to talk to Jake, though.
He's going to be like Roger Clinton. He's in trouble right now.
Well, he's a few guns.
Yeah.
Not trouble. He's got an arsenal.
He's like Billy Carter.
He's got an arsenal. Listen.
Billy Beer?
Yeah. Yeah, there's always like a Roger Clinton. There's always a brother who you go, you just sit down.
Was it an arsenal thing, or was it because he was stealing things from the mall?
No, I think he was just walking around the mall, being what he does, which is with a camera. Right. And then I think, he left, I think, an AK-47 on his hot tub, like leaned up against the hot tub. I think somebody ratted him out. And then,
Did he show it on Twitter or something?
Yeah, there was
Something on Instagram or something?
But dude, a guy like that with that kind of money, I say get more weapons. Get a bioweapons lab. You should have a back coronavirus going 24/7. Get anthrax. Jake Paul, get anthrax. Who cares? You're going to need it. When LA falls, these are the only fucks, that are going to be able to do anything. They're going to have arsenals. Yeah, man. Why not?
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like, LA's very weird because you're like, where do I fit in? Without stand-up comedy, you're like, I podcast and that's good and I try to make that as funny as I can. But then you look around a lot of places of LA, like, I don't really fit in with the actors. And I'm not really one of these kids that's really like a social media guy. And then I'm not one of these writers that, tweet about global warming and Black Lives Matter all day. So you're like, my community of people, which was the store and the stand-up comedians, have now been, like, dispersed. So it's like a weird, like, I'm like a man without a country.
Yeah, I feel like that, too.
And I want to be adopted by one of these, like, someone come in here, like one of these big YouTubers. I don't care. Anybody. One of these guys that walk around, like hype beasts and these crazy shirts and everything. I'll be one of those guys. Just someone knock on my door.
Start your own thing?
Well, I mean,
golf shirts and
yeah, sure, just polos, just like this, just ill-fitting polos. Ill-fitting polos for the American racists.
Polos are a weird choice, Peter. Like, why is it that is like
it's the only thing I wear?
Golfer dorks wear.
You know what it is? I've always wanted to look like I've had money, and I've never looked like it. And there's a type of guy that's from, and a lot of them live in New York or Long Island or Boston, by the way.
Yes, Izod.
Yes, and they wear these fucking polos and they have no fucking money. And that's the kind of guy that I am, where it's like, I always want to look, but they're always sunburned and they've always got like an ill-fitting thing, like the collars, like this collar's all fucked up because I tumble dry it in the wash like an animal. I look like a golf pro who's failed at everything. His wife laughed like
John Daly's brother.
Yeah. I mean, but that's the look. And when you have the look, you just honor the look.
The Izod look. I remember when I was a kid, I had fake Izods. We couldn't afford alligator.
Okay, so what was it?
You have like
an armadillo?
Some bullshit thing that you buy from like some stupid department store.
Yeah.
And guys would glue an alligator over it.
Oh, really?
It's depressing.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, guys they would fake it.
You made it out, but
but it's so funny. Like labels to kids. Labels to kids are a big deal. Like if you have off-brand sneakers on, like
one summer I saved up for a Versace shirt, and I bought this Versace shirt. It was like this weird mesh material that clings to your body. Now now we can imagine there were many problems with that, right? Because Versace has European cut clothes. Now even if I wore small cock clothes, no cut, they're European cut. They're for dudes with like small shoulders. You see Dolce & Gabbana, they're women, like they right. So I bought this Versace shirt, which was like blue and mesh, and it was just a night. I mean, I looked like Grover or something, like Cookie Monster walking around. And then I just spilled something on it, and then I realized, like, designer clothes, you can't ever spill anything on it ever, or you have to like throw it out. Like those types of material, it just doesn't work. And I'm like, oh, the people that wear these don't eat, or when they eat, they don't eat in a way that gets things on them.
Or when they get things dirty, just throw them out,
get another one.
Yeah,
yeah, I've never been into fashion.
Yeah, I've never have either, but I have been fascinated by the whole Paris fashion show, runway
Me too.
culture.
It's interesting.
To the point where I've actually, like, I remember when Kanye West was getting into that. He was making his stuff and having people wear it on runways.
Right.
I almost want to be there to see what one of those things are like, because I bet some of the people there are probably so preposterous.
Yeah.
So weird.
Well, that's like going out to dinner in LA. You see these people walking into these restaurants, and it's kind of hilarious. You're like, these people are like a meme. I mean, like they're not even real. Right. Like, oh my God. So that's what Fashion Week is like. I think it's an entire business built on bullshit. Yeah. It's like an entire business built on like, what do you think? And like buzz and all this crap. Like, there's nothing real about it other than what's created. It's like our business is kind of like that too, where it's like, there's no nuts and bolts, and it's all pretty much like where's popular sentiment going, how much can we affect it, how much can we direct it. And then there's 8-year-olds in Pakistan that make all the clothes.
Yes.
Which is sad, but they need to work. I mean, we see what happens when you shut down a country and nobody works. Do we want 8-year-old Pakistanis in Antifa? No.
I wonder what's going to happen with American manufacturing. I wonder if it's going to be be a real shift, recognizing what a huge problem it is, having all our medicine made in China, and all, like, there's not a single phone that's made here. Not a fucking phone.
Single one.
Not a single one. Everybody has a phone. There's millions of phones.
I wonder if this makes us rethink all of that, and that we got to be more. I mean, that would make sense, right? Because 90% of our antibiotics are made in China.
Yeah, most of our medication.
That's crazy.
That's one of the things that I thought was very interesting about Trump, was that he was like, you know, listen, we're getting fucked by China. They're fucking us.
And he was right.
He was right.
Yeah.
But it's just, when he's right about things, those things become wrong.
Correct.
Because people don't like it. That's what I was saying about the politicalization, whether that's a word or not, of hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah.
When Schaub got the COVID,
He took it.
the doctor asked him what his political views are. He's like, what? He's like, a lot of people don't want to take hydroxychloroquine because of Trump. And he's like, is that what I should take? He goes, yes. the
Schaub's
early
getting
stages of the
nervous. He thinks it's like a
virus.
history test. They're like,
Well, he was-
where do you stand on imperialism? Schaub's like, wait, what?
He was
Been
baffled.
around just coughing.
He was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, give me the fucking medication that works. He goes,
It's
"Okay,
crazy.
fine."
Yeah.
There was a doctor, what was that? I
If
think-
any doctor says this helps, anybody that doesn't want to take it is, to me, is crazy.
But it's a strange one in that so many people are against it, but it's like,
Nice one. That's the best second sector so far.
article. There was an article that I pulled up really recently about, oh, here it is. The key to defeating COVID-19 already exists. We need to start using it. This is a doctor who is a legitimate scientist.
Right.
So and they're trying to figure out, like, why is this,
I've
this
heard
guy's
that it works from doc personal.
professor of epidemiology from Yale School of Public Health.
He's not full of shit.
He's not full of shit. And he's
Right.
saying, listen, there's real evidence to show that, particularly in the early stages of this disease,
It
before
works.
it stops the virus from spreading. It's a malaria disease that's been used forever, but
The doctor in New York told me that it
Listen.
was like the Lazarus drug, like people just getting up and walking out of the hospital, like people literally that came in with it, if they used it early enough, it was really good.
right. But then you hear these studies where people are saying no. In fact, more people died when they got it. Like, well, what the fuck is true?
What is real? Yeah, I mean, that's when you just have to kind of clock out and go, let's figure it out.
Well, is it because of, is it different stages of the disease where it's not effective? Is it different, like, is it old people it doesn't work on, but it works on young
Yeah,
people?
it's also
What
like,
is it?
what are the studies?
Right.
How are you doing the studies? Who's
Yeah.
doing the studies? I mean, it's all very difficult.
Have you done anything different in terms of, like, taking care of yourself? Other than
I take
moving to the
vitamin D.
desert? How much?
I take vitamin D. I think 5,000 IUs a day.
That's right.
I take vitamin D.
You getting some for your son,
I
too?
started smoking because the cigarettes, they said, help. There was an article. I'm kidding.
I did
But
hear something.
every now and then I have one cigarette, but I don't smoke. I don't
Really?
smoke, but I have every now and then at night
COVID.
it's a relaxing thing once in a while, not all the time.
You smoke cigars?
No, I should.
You want one right now?
No.
Okay.
I appreciate it though. I should
I have
start.
a whole box of them. Like mine.
I know. I don't need another habit.
They're very good.
To just start smoking cigars.
You
I mean,
don't have to
that's-
smoke cigars all the time.
I know. I have an addictive personality, so whatever I do, I tend to do it a lot. That's the problem. That's the problem. That's why I got good at comedy. Diaz talks about it. Like,
Yeah.
got addicted to that. You know, that's the whole thing. Is like you end up getting addicted to something, so you better make sure that it's something good. But I've been trying to do better things, and swimming a lot, working out, things like that.
Well, have you ever talked, like, when evolutionary biologists talk about addictive personalities and obsessive personalities, obsessive behavior, and they say that you're actually, this is very controversial, but I think some of them, that you're actually tapping into a trait that would make you get very successful at things like hunting for survival. Like, you get obsessed at something, so you want to perfect it. You're obsessed by it, so you become better at it, so you become more successful, so you survive because you have food.
Interesting.
Yeah, which makes sense. Or
Sure.
war, or combat, or the things where
Yeah.
you're going to be able to figure out.
So
how
that's
to
like a
defend yourself.
primordial
Mhm.
trait that a lot of us have.
And it gets hijacked by heroin.
Right.
It gets hijacked by gambling.
It's hijacked by something horrible.
It gets hijacked by jerking off.
Yeah,
It's like,
wow.
That's what it is.
Wow, so you would have been a hunter. Yeah.
But listen, it makes 100% sense.
It does. It does. I mean, it's crazy. It's like in the modern world that trait becomes sometimes a liability.
Well, in the modern world, there's so many. Like, the modern world is not natural. Every
Not at
fucking
all.
thing that we do is very recent. Everything
Offices are so
Yes.
unnatural, like the way we sit. Yeah.
What we do for a living has only been around for 100 years, not even 100 years. I mean,
Right.
When was the first stand-up?
I think it was the Mafia started putting these nightclubs together after like vaudeville. Like it was started, those type of acts, they started putting Brick Wall up.
Yeah.
But I think it's all very recent. It's in the last century.
Yeah, in the last century.
100%.
And guys like us would have been the MC.
Right.
And there would have been like a fucking go-go dancer
Yeah.
and a guy playing
Yeah.
the drums.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all that shit.
We're descendant of like, tent carnivals and circuses.
It is crazy that one of the most prominent art forms in the world, which is stand-up comedy, is literally within the last 100 years.
Yeah, but a lot of things, but like
that's
music,
true.
well, those
Acting,
things,
poetry,
Well, you have to look at the
literature.
predecessors to stand. Like there was probably in the Middle Ages there was a court jester, right? So there's always been somebody goofing around and being funny. Sometimes they did comedic plays. Sometimes there had to be a guy in the town square yelling and screaming.
Storytellers.
And podcasting is like we're essentially it's like other than being a whore or a hooker, it's like the oldest profession because we're just talking.
Sort of, but we're doing it in a new way where people are doing other things and they're getting entertained while they're doing other things. Like right now, where you and I are yucking it up, there's a guy who's running around a lake.
Right.
And he's out there laughing his ass off, sweating, and it distracts you.
And it
looks
distracts
down at his watch. Holy
He's
shit,
like,
I did 6
can't
miles.
believe. It's true.
Yeah.
But it's so simple. It's like we're just
the
talking.
recording things changed a lot of that because like musicians changed too. Because everything would have had to be 100% live.
Yep,
performance.
sure.
You had to, like guitar or harp or violin, whatever.
Well, that's what I miss. I love podcasting, and I get to do it. But I do miss the live experience, being in it, because everything has context live.
Yeah.
Twitter, all these things have no context.
When I did the Houston Improv, which is the only date that I did over the last few months, it was like I felt like I was getting away with something.
Right.
And then I realized I kind of have like almost like a low-key depression in not doing stand-up. It's not bad, but it's like, this is what it is. And this is, I hate to tell you all, you folks out there, regular people who do not kill, you do not go on stage and kill, you do not know what that feels like.
It's a high.
It is not just a high, it is one of the biggest highs of all shows.
3 minutes to go.
When you and I would do the main room at the fucking store and get off stage and murder.
It's great.
And like you would hand it off to me. And
Nothing's better.
Oh my God.
Nothing's better.
It's like the feeling, and it's a feeling like, I remember like going on stage, like when someone was coming off, like they would introduce you and they would just crush. And you looked at their face and you got to see like there was a face of a person who just crushed.
Right.
Like they just, and I would always say this, like I feel bad for people who don't know what it's like to crush.
Yeah. Well, it's also like you look at actors and you go, how fun could that be?
It's fun.
I'm sure it is, but it can't be anywhere near as fun.
No.
It can't be anywhere near as fun.
It's
Just
like,
in the raw, visceral reaction of people. Like Greg Giraldo always used to say, like it's that visceral, feeling. It's not so much it's not like you're getting love, but it's like you're just it's like this weird, almost like godlike experience you're having in terms of like being able to take a room full of 300 people and bring them with you on a journey.
yes.
And take them from where they are to a place where they're hysterically laughing. It's like a chemical reaction to change people's. I mean, that's why I'm going to go do it in a tent.
You're giving them a drug.
It's like,
You're giving them a drug.
Yeah, and I'm not going to do a lot of those shows, but I said I'll do one. Let me see what it's like. I'm curious as to what it's like, and I've shit on them, and I still may after I do it, but like I want to see what it's like to just do it in the circumstances it can be done right now.
Are you going to do one with Bert? Those driving things we were talking
That
about?
I'm not going to do. I love him, but I'm not going to do. I don't want to entertain cars. Like you sit people in a parking lot, I'm cool. When I start performing at Dodge Durangos, and listen, God bless him, he's got a huge fan base. A lot of people doing it. I think Gaffney did it. I just personally don't. I feel like that's way too disconnected for me. This is all personal, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's going to feel like I love podcasting. I try to be as funny as I can. I do these crazy rants, and that gets a little bit out that I need to get out. I would rather do that than perform in front of cars.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like
But maybe I'm wrong.
I'll try the car thing
You
once.
got to try it all.
But Bert's doing it all over the country. He's
Yeah.
basically on a drive-through tour.
Well, what I love about Bert was like, they were like, we're shutting down comedy. He's like, no, we're not. Yeah, Bert's like, we're not.
Yeah, he just got shoveled out there. But it's also, the thing about COVID, it does give you an opportunity, if you're a comic, to sort of sit down and rethink things. And also to really appreciate what it's like to do stand-up.
Yeah, That's true.
Like when we did that weekend in Houston, like I did it with Moses and Hinchcliffe, and when we came back, we were like, man,
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah, I mean, I know that I'm walking into a situation where I might get off stage and go, oh, fuck this forever. Because it's a rough, it's going to be different. It's not a
We're
club.
gonna be thankful.
But I'm going to be thankful. We're going to have a
They are
lot of
gonna
fun.
be thankful.
They're going to be thankful. I mean, tickets sold immediately. And we're putting more shows on, and then it's my home. From Long Island,
Right.
so I'm going to have a lot of fun there with the people that come out. And I think that because it's going to be a really great place to ease back in, because I'm going to be able to do some material, go off the top of my head, know that the crowd has a lot of shared experiences with me because we all grew up in the same place. It's kind of a training wheels to kind of come back in, and then hopefully, I'm hoping by this winter, we're kind of start revving up again. Because we can't, what are we going to do?
Well, what do we do if COVID is like this next August? If we're all the way to next August and still like this,
I think
just
it
go
is
on the road again.
I think it is a certain time we're going to have to make that distinction because, at the end of the day, how does the economy survive? How does the country survive without these things? I mean, sports is a mental. People need sports.
Yeah.
They need to participate. They need to watch sport. You can't take all of this away forever. I mean, there's all these freaks. Listen, I get the people without the masks that are coughing in elderly people's faces. No good. But on the other side, you have these people that are these weird cat moms that are wine drunk, baking bread on Instagram. It's honey, we can't do this for 10 years. I know you're happy because you're this weird freak that doesn't like leaving anyway. People need to fucking leave their homes.
Yeah, they need to leave their homes, and there's not a lot of entertainment coming down the pipe either. Not a lot of movies being made.
No.
Not a lot of ways to entertain yourself. And these studios are trying to figure out ways to film these movies and keep people safe, but it's hard.
Yeah.
They have to quarantine everybody and go to hotels.
It's difficult. But that's why I think eventually, New York's COVID rates are very low. I think that it's going to blow through. I think there might be a little second wave, but I think eventually the viruses weaken. They weaken and they disappear. It happened in 1918 with the Spanish flu. They weaken and this will weird. Yeah.
Why is the virus weaken?
Well, I'm an epidemiologist. And what you've seen is a lot of times the virus is just, it goes into the hosts and then eventually the virus is
What causes it? Is it the people that
I think it just runs through. It's just a picture somebody that just fucks everybody, that they just ran through everybody. They move to the next town. Right? You just fuck everybody, and then you're like, what am I going to do?
And then if you fuck 30 people, by the time you fuck 30
It's
people,
dust.
you barely have a
Blown
heart
out
on.
dust. Yeah. So I think this virus just, I don't know. I don't know exactly how it happens, but it does historically happen.
Yeah, historically.
Do you think...
This is a different kind of disease, though.
I think the big problem is, the bigger issue actually now is economic. Even though COVID's a massive issue, I think the bigger issue is how are we gonna stop 28 million people from being evicted or foreclosed on because they couldn't go to jobs? The government literally shut down the economy. These people could not work, so through no fault of their own, they have a real problem here. There's a real housing issue.
Not just that. How about the businesses that are closed down? How do you restart a business when you have no money?
Correct.
What do you do? How do you get going? And does the government have money to give these people loans? I don't know. It's hard.
I think they have to do something, whether it's universal basic income. I don't know what they're going to do, but that economic issue is going to be really, really massive.
How does this end?
In Texas. That's where it ends. It just ends in Texas that we all have done. We all just sit on our porches all day waiting for someone to come in. How often have you started doing? A few times at upstate New York. I should get it. I didn't think I needed to when I moved to LA. I didn't think I'd have to sit on my balcony with a gun. It seemed relatively safe when I moved in. People were annoying, but I didn't think they were coming to kill me. I didn't think they were coming in my windows to kill me. But now that I'm like, I should get a gun. I think I texted you second week of quarantine, which I got a gun. You're like, yeah.
You're one of them.
Yeah. I'm not a liberal friend, but whatever it's like.
Are you a centrist?
I believe in pedophile cults and lizard people. I think that's centrist. I think that's in the center. They're all good. I just don't care. I don't care. That's really my political opinion. It's I think it's not, most of it isn't real. You're making a lot of it real It's not real. Walk away. Like it truly, like it, people that are real activists, a lot of them have like a degree, like they're a lawyer or a doctor, and then they use their skills to actually help people, and they give up really profitable careers to do that shit. But dude, your Twitter fucking posturing, your virtue signaling doesn't do anything. It's fake. I know it's fake. And there's just more to life than red and blue and Republican or Democrat. All these motherfuckers are trying to kill you, and they're all fucking losers. And they're all just, I mean, listen, they're more capable. Like, all the shit that they've pulled, the CIA, all these people, they're just too good. They're good. They've beat me. They're going to win. They're going to win. The CIA is going to beat you.
Maybe you should join.
I don't know who needs to hear. I'd love to, but I don't know who needs to hear this. But, like, stop investing your emotional and all your emotions and your time and energy into this thing. Like, you would be so much better off if you just found something you enjoyed and did it.
Right, but you don't want them taking your rights, closing your email account.
They're going to do it anyway. What are you going to do? Don't take my rights, Sen. Fucking matter. They're going to take them. Buy the car. Do whatever you got to do. Like, there's no winning here.
You believe in a well-armed militia?
Yeah, but look, I mean, you can, I'm all for people having guns.
But a militia. It seems like more now than ever, the idea of forming a militia is
It's gonna happen. It'll happen. There'll be skirmishes, there'll be violence in the street, but it's like at the
That's
end
what I
of
was most worried about. Portland's.
yeah, at the end of the day, you know, I mean, I don't know, you know, this country's not designed for massive reaction. It's sad to say. I can say it. I'm a comedian. It is what it is. But the reality is, it's just not. It's gonna disintegrate like everything else that's ever fucking existed on the planet. And you just hope that the plane lands slowly and doesn't nosedive into the ground. But the best days are over here. The bright, like the hopeful, you know, going to the moon. That's done. Really? You don't think so?
I think we could make a nice resurgence in a year and a half from now.
I don't know. I think we just head into a dystopian, insane kind of like tech world where we just all live on, like reality barely exists. No, I think we're just, it's a dystopian world we're heading into.
The real problem is that everything goes into like a Ready Player One type situation where whatever they can manufacture in a computer with artificial reality is more interesting.
That's going to happen. And listen, here's the problem. Most people don't care. They don't want these rights. They actually don't. You like them because you're like a successful person. Most people don't give a shit about their rights. They want pizza. They want chicken wings. They want fucking soda. They want cheap credit. They want to go on a cruise once a year. They don't give a shit about their rights. They don't care. They want Netflix and they want, you know, garlic knots. And that's what it is. And you can pretend like America's just not a country like freedom loving. There's a few of those people. Most people are just like, hey, whatever, and they're the happiest people. A lot of those people I'm talking about are actually the happier people. They're not trying to build an empire. They're not trying to succeed. They just enjoy like putting something warm and doughy in their mouth, vegging out, and fucking waking up the next day and go, shit, I'm here again. And they're the happiest people.
They like to get drunk and go boating.
That's it. They like to get fucked up and go out on the lake. Go out on the lake and get railed up. And like, yeah, and it's fun. What are you gonna sit around all day worry about what DARPA's doing? It's like, the fuck kind of life is that? Grill a burger, it's over. I mean, enjoy it.
Yeah,
it's
play
the end.
Freebird.
The end's not that bad. As ends go, as ends go, this end happens to be hilarious, and there's still food in the food stores.
Yeah, that's a good point.
As of right now,
I like your optimism.
this is a good end.
It's not a bad end.
It's not the worst end.
I want to see what happens when Joe Biden gets in office.
He's gonna sleep a lot. He'll nap a
I
lot.
want to see what the speeches are like when he forgets what he's talking about.
He's gonna have no clue. Kamala, he'll run for a term. He'll live for a term.
It's Kamala, and if you pronounce it wrong, you're racist.
I call her K-Dog. And no, she's gonna run. He'll do one term, and then she'll run. I don't think he'll run for a second term. He's already too old. He'll do one term. she'll come in again. No one will care about politics. She'll be Yas queening all over the place.
If he does run for a second term, he'll be in his 80s.
Yeah, he's not going to run for a second term. She'll run. She knows that. That's why she's pumped.
But do you think they have to think that through when they run for president? Like, if you're 78 and you're barely hanging on now.
It's probably unspoken, but I think that's probably, I think why he picked her is because she's everybody's
young and vital.
Yeah, everybody's kind of comfortable with her. She's a centrist. She's a cop. She doesn't care. She'll put you right in jail. She'll put the cuffs on you. The government, the larger power centers are very happy. Then she'll throw them in the vans. She'll brand you.
So
they
if she
love
runs,
it.
who's her VP?
God only knows. I mean, someone else that shares her values, which are
Here it is.
aesthetic,
Biden calls
politics,
for
and a lot of
mandate
prison.
requiring all Americans to wear masks.
3 months, he says.
For 3 months. He was joined at briefing by his newly named running mate. Let me hear it.
Well, that is
Weird.
That's so long.
I want to hear some of it. I just want to hear the voice. Here it goes.
Greatest and most challenging race circuit in the world.
what plans we make forward. We talked about significantly about the racial disparities that exist and how it is COVID-19 is affecting the different races differently. And we talked about the continued lack of PPE, protective equipment, and testing capacity.